Another wonderful Wednesday night sports delight, because this is ladies' night. Oh, and shout out to our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Hi, Miss Williams. Whenever you see Joanne, not Joe.
The alter ego.
Roll now.
Oh, Stringa.
What's going on? I do like a ghost. Okay.
I mean, and that's just my one excuse to look silly on the sidelines, and I'm totally okay with it. I'm doing my job.
All right, Coach Willis. Well, speaking of,
Everyone, welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl, Buddy. I'm glad y'all are here to join us for another wonderful evening.
telling y'all, when you get on this show on the ladies' night, boy, I tell you, you are bringing people's careers to a whole nother level. I'm telling you. So here. Yay! Somebody's watching. Shout out to everybody tuning in on Platform Sports Talk Show on Facebook. Yes, or YouTube. Thank you.
Get that win, girl.
I was like, well, Brandon, does Michelle Smallman text you at 11:45 at night?
You let them know, right? No matter the time, it came through, right?
Yes, I thought that was really dope.
So my question is, how do you balance that passion and emotion in your profession?
So for some of these guys, they're like, even if I do win, it's not going to be enough for some people. So why don't I just go ahead and get the money?
Living the dream. I think all the time. I'm a dream catcher, right? So I chased the dream and I caught it.
Because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I'd lost my mind.
Just kind of shed light, women coaches, like, hey, we bring it too. We bring it.
All right, what is up, everyone? It is 2024. It sounds super weird. It's crazy. I can't believe it. 2023 flew by, but here we are. And also, on top of that, it is the 3-year anniversary of Ladies' Night. That's just as mind blown to me, honestly. We've been doing this for a long time. I've been a part of the show for a long time. Miss Does with the Bojo, what's up? I hope you had a great new year. Hope you're good, all is well, and I'm excited for your comments tonight. It's going to be a little different tonight. It's going to be a little different tonight. I'm going to be the host with the most because Bunny, prayers up to her and her family. She did have a death in the family, so she won't be with us tonight, but I'm trying to hold things down for her. And we're also going to have someone that hasn't been on the show in a little bit. And if she's ready now, let's go ahead and bring in Miss Purple Rain. You're muted.
Food. What's up?
What's up? It's been a while. You didn't know. You didn't know.
No. What's happening, everybody? How are y'all doing?
Doing good. It's like I said, it's crazy that it's 2024.
Right.
It just sounds weird. Every year sounds more and more weird, but yeah. But
Man.
but yeah, did you have a good New Year?
I did. Super blessed to even see another year, with all the crazy stuff that goes on, what I'm saying, especially in St. Louis. But I'm blessed to be here, no complaints for real on my end. I just consider myself to be super blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, same here. Yeah, just happy to make it another year, and for the most part, everything's good. Family's healthy and whatnot. But yeah, just excited to see what 2024 is going to bring, and
Same.
excited for whatever sports stories we're going to get in 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too, Joe. Me too.
Yeah, and then like right now it's kind of a lull in sports. It's kind of quiet, everything's, there's you got the championship game coming up next month. We'll get into that later. You got the Super Bowl coming up next month, so and then spring training, and then it all gets going. So I'm excited about all of that, but right now we just got to get through this slow part of sports.
Right.
And Miss Dove says she had a nice long vacation and got some projects done, which is a good time.
That's what's up.
And you know what, Purple Rain? While we're waiting on our other guest to come on, let's talk about you. You haven't been on the show in a little bit. It might have been the last anniversary of Ladies' Night. Honestly, I'm not sure, but
maybe, yeah, last year around this time. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's been going on with you? How have you been doing?
Oh my God, Joe. I've been pretty good. 2023 was really a year of I feel like I had a lot to prove to myself in 2023. I started a social media management company. So like that's been really, really I'm super proud of that because the fact that people trust me, in that way, is a big honor. And it's very lucrative as well. When you find the solution to a problem, you in good business. What I found out was that, people have a need for social media, but don't necessarily want to engage in the act of participating on social media. It's kind of draining for some people, which I totally understand. So that's when you hire someone to manage those socials because it's vital for your business, right? So I've been jugging a little bit, Joe. I've been jugging a little bit.
And is there a name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Perk World Digital. I'm sorry. Yes, follow us on Instagram. Yeah, Perk World Digital, just how it sounds. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. I mean,
Cool.
but yes.
Yeah, and then I know you were doing some dancing and whatnot. You still?
Of course, that's gonna always be like my go-to. Because I'm super passionate about dance. So like I still get booked for like trap Zumba and stuff like that. I still dance all over my social media pages. And I also wrote my second ebook this year too. So like I wrote my first one at the end of 2021, and then I dropped another one like 3 months later, which ended up being, I'm not sorry, 2022. Then I dropped another one at the top of 2023. So like I'm just, just exploring all my little strengths, and you know what I'm saying, like I said, it's been working for me. Not to mention, I'm making some really, really good money on Facebook too. So, like it's been happening for me. Like I said, the only thing that I would advise people is that when you get so super immersed into the social media world, because that's what it is, it's kind of like this alternate reality, right? Make sure that you check your mental, because what I found out is that, when you get viral posts, there are going to be people who get on there and just say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I've had people tell me they hope I die, like in some of them comments, like it's crazy. So like, if you don't know who you are, you'll let them people tell you who you are. So you really gotta, be strong within yourself, to be able to like block out some of that negativity. And I'm super, super, super confident within me and what I got going on. So I don't trip off of it much, but I can definitely see how it could get to some people.
Yeah. I know people are crazy out there, man, where they're just constantly like threatening and whatnot. And now we got Alan McCarter on. He said, "Hey ladies, how are y'all doing? We are doing good." Yeah, just trying to catch up a little bit with Purple Rain. Again, she hasn't been on the show since we were told since the Super Show Part 2 last year. And before we continue our conversation, let's bring on another panelist, which is Annie.
Hey,
what's
how
up?
are you? I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays, as they say.
I know, right? It's a shame. What you been up to?
Man, just working, teaching, which is why I'm not available a lot of Wednesdays. So, and of course, watching sports.
That was kind of my thing too. I was teaching on Wednesday nights, so that's kind of how I got pulled away initially. But I'm always grateful to Smoooth for like inviting me back, and just wanting to hear my perspective on things. I really appreciate that.
Then, oh, sorry, Annie. I was just going to ask how your New Year's was, and welcome to 2024.
Yeah, I think I spent it the way I've spent the last 3, which is asleep. So that was my New Year's, was me sleeping. So, yeah.
Yeah, ever since I became a mother, it's not staying up till the wee hours of the morning drinking with, all the friends. We stayed up till midnight and then we were out. So
who for what? 2024 will still be there in the morning. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is true. And then before we get to what's in our cup, Purple Rain, I got to ask you, since you're a Lakers fan, how was that monumental in-season tournament for you?
Oh my God! Listen, y'all. When I say I was like screaming at the TV, like it was super dope, and I like that they're doing things like that in the NBA now. Like that was exciting. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if they created more incentives throughout the year, it would kind of put a spark under some of these teams that haven't been able to make it to the playoffs, or what I'm saying, the finals. It will give them something else to shoot for.
And were you like, I don't know, did it feel like watching the NBA playoffs? And what was your thoughts on the banner raising? Because I don't know, I thought that might have been a little too much.
So yeah, it was very intense. I will say that. I was on the edge of my seat, just like if it was like the finals. Like it was crazy. That's the type of energy you want when you watching the game. Like you want that intensity. You don't want them out there, because like what I be feeling like with the All-Star game, it's not intense. Like they just out there. You know what I'm saying? Just it looked like they just be playing. Like nobody's really serious. But because they had that money on the line, like I said, that incentive, it gave them something to play for. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of tell the difference. So I loved it. Like the intensity of it was great. I want them to keep doing that. I hope they keep doing it. I really do. And what was the second part of the question?
How did you feel about the banner raising?
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't know that it should, Joe.
I just think it's kind of goofy. It's kind of goofy, but that's just me.
I'm kind of a person that like over the top stuff or like the extraness of it all. So it didn't, I guess that's why I was okay with it. I didn't really, it didn't bother me one way or the other. But yeah, yeah.
I love the banner raising. I don't think we do enough celebrating.
We don't. And
sports has become about hating on people, trying to be the first one to call someone a bust, trying to have the same old debates about who's best. I just think sports should be more about celebrating. It's an entertainment property at the end of the day. So I think it should be more about having fun. I think just in general, people need to celebrate more. It's like we've narrowed in on just a very few things that we're willing to get hype about. And it's like weddings, babies, and maybe like one graduation. Like people are hyped for high school graduation. Graduate from graduate school, and it was like the only person who was there was like my mama. Like, we need to celebrate more. So I'm all for anything that's like, let's throw a party, let's celebrate, let's bring the fun back into sports. So I loved the banner raising. I loved, to me, the best part of it was just seeing LeBron just still being able to take it over when he wants to. Still being able to just decide, you know what? Get on my back, boys. We went in tonight. So
period.
That's what I love, that he still has that in him to bring that out in himself, to bring that out in Anthony Davis, to bring that out in other people. And so to me, that was the best part of watching it. So I love celebrating. I think the runner-up should also hang a banner. I think all the people who almost made it should also hang up banners and throw parties. I'm just with celebrating. Have fun while you can. We only get one beautiful life.
Oh, and I want to go on the record because I know I've probably said on here before that I wasn't a LeBron fan. But I wouldn't say I've converted, but I gotta respect the talent. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is just one of them ones, like, and either it's in you or it ain't. And he's just one of those people who has it. He's a great leader. I like his leadership. I can see the transition of his leadership. Like, he's solid, and I gotta commend him for that. Also, he's a good person, if that makes sense. Like, he's a good man. From what I know, I don't know him personally. Savannah, don't kill me. But from what I can see, he's solid. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta big him up. Shout out to LeBron.
Welcome to the dark side.
oh Lord, with Darth Vader right here.
Right.
And anyway, like, let's go ahead. Let me do this promo real quick, and then we'll get everything started. So yeah, this is the third year of the Ladies' Night, part of the Platform Sports Talk Show, which you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can get us on Roku, on Hot 365 Radio, and Smooth, you're going to have to put the Twitch up there again because I already forgot the link for that. But yeah, there is the Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. We do have Man Cave every last Wednesday of the month. Ladies' Night, like tonight, the first Wednesday of the month, and the Twitch is twitch.tv/Hot365 Radio. And and then we got the main Platform Sports Talk Show every other Wednesday in between there. And if you go on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and click on that bell, because anytime we go live, you will be notified. And honestly, we probably need to come up with something for all these other, because I get notified for every application now that the show's going live. So if you can think you can favor us on like Instagram and X, Facebook, you're going to get notified that we're live. So if you're not doing that, do it. Miss Dub says LBJ, so I'm assuming that's LeBron. Yeah. That sounds like a football player, LBJ.
I know.
Does a lot for his hometown of Cleveland, especially encouraging kids. And yeah, I mean, I feel like that was like a decade ago that he created that school. I don't even know how long ago it's been, but yeah, that was also whenever he did that. And let's go on to some of our topics, guys. Our first one's always what's in your cup. And Annie, tell us what's in your cup.
Well, y'all know I don't drink alcohol, so my cup is water and Red Bull. So, because I have a meeting.
What's that one taste like?
Show. This is like dragon fruit, so it was a part of their summer line, and so I think they stopped producing it, but stores that still had it, you can still get it. So it's really good. It's dragon fruit.
I like the white one.
The
coconut,
what?
I think. The white one, the coconut one.
Okay. Yeah, I like this one. Peach nectarine is good. So my body is like 10% energy drink. So
same.
Yeah.
All right. And then what sports stories got your attention right now?
Well, first of all, so I'm wearing Carolina blue tonight. We had a big win yesterday against Pitt. It was not looking good at halftime. So we got more physical in the paint, which I always love to see, and people doing it other than Baycott, because Baycott does not play like a big man at all. So it was great to see Carolina kick off ACC play with a win. And of course, North Carolina, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is the only relevant school in North Carolina. And so that's my first sports story. Of course, college football playoffs, 2 great games on the first. Was excited that they were actually competitive. I feel like the last couple of years, at least one of them has been a blowout. So both came down to the last play. All 4 teams were the right teams. Sorry, Florida State. And I think that the championship game will be a good matchup. I think there's not a chance of a blowout. I think this will be a very different style of offense than Michigan is used to playing, which I think will keep their defense, which is stacked with amazing players. I think it'll keep them on their toes. Michael Penix Jr. played out of his mind the last game. He was bringing big penis energy, as the clip says. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I am one of those people who's not excited about a 12-team playoff. I don't think any of those games would have been made better by having Florida State in it. Maybe Oregon. I don't know. But no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the realignment that's coming. I think it would be excellent for Washington to win and for the Pac-12, which will no longer officially exist after this season, to go out by winning one of the college football championships. So, yeah, those are the 2 major sports stories. All things college.
And real quick, before we ask Purple Rain hers, what was that last play by Alabama there at the end? I just feel like they could have come up with something better.
No, here's the thing. I hope Milroe can fight. Now, we talked about this in the last show, where I'm convinced when people chronically mess up and they keep chronically messing up, it's because someone on the team can't fight. So I hope Milroe can fight, because their center, Radio, would never. Okay, Radio's like the all-pro center for the St. Louis Lamb. Okay, she would never. Okay, most of those snaps were in the ground, and Milroe was having to do Russian deadlifts to pick them up off the grass before he could even scan the defense and make a play. And that's what happened on the last play as well. The snap was too low. He had to take his eyes off his first read. And then, the rush had picked up starting into the second half, going into that overtime. And so that split second, or that extra second or 2 that he needed just to corral the ball, was gave enough time for the defensive line to get in the backfield. And so the game came to an end. But that was totally the center's fault, not Milrose. So that's what happened.
Can I say that I think I like college football's overtime rules better than the NFL's?
Why? I mean, the NFL
I think it's more exciting.
College style. So they play like a regular game first, and then they're like, especially in the playoffs, then they go to college style in the playoffs. And so, so they do it. They just play a little bit more regular football first.
Yeah. I'm Perp. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
All right. What is up? You're back. So
Yes.
what's in your cup? What type of sports stories have your attention right now?
Man, let me think. I'ma always root for Sha'Carri. I love her energy, her story. I love everything about her. Who else? I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think. Come back to me.
all right. Well, I'll just
let's double back around. Let me hold on. Get my stuff together.
All right. Well, since I mentioned last week that I'm doing a dry month to start off the year, so I just got some. If you haven't tried it, it's Skittles water flavored. It's amazing. And then I got Diet Pepsi with me as well. But sports stories right now, it's like we said to start the show off, it's been kind of quiet as of late. With the exception of what's happening in both the NFL and college football.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just go to what I know most, and that's baseball. It's official now that Yamamoto has signed with the Dodgers, and they're just becoming a juggernaut more so than any other year, and they're probably not done yet. And then over the weekend, we had Lucas Giolito sign a contract with the Red Sox, and then the Red Sox traded Chris Sale, one of their pitchers, to the Braves, which is a really weird head-scratching trade, but the Braves have been doing that all offseason so far, and I'm sure it will work out for them. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm just hoping the rest of the MLB free agents start signing, because it's been a very boring free agency for baseball, which that's usually the case, but more so now than it was because Ohtani and Yamamoto were free agents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have on my Luther Burton hoodie. I forgot about that. Repping from Mizzou. But yeah, like I just, I'm one of those people who I tap in and I tap right back out. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's not happening like in the now, I done already forgot about it. Like, I don't know why I'm like that, but that's how it is.
So did Yamamoto also do like you can pay me $1 a day for the next 40 years type deal so that they can make the contracts work?
No, so his isn't like as backloaded. It's more of a traditional backloading type of contract, but no, they did the Ohtani contract. They traded for Glass now and then extended him and then did Yamamoto. So, I mean, they're probably going to be over the luxury tax for next year and for years to come. But no, his was more of a traditional. It was just a lot of money for a guy that hasn't thrown a pitch in a major league game. And he's only 25, so hopefully, because you want to see good players, even if it's for a team that you don't like, you want to see, good players out there breaking records left and right. So hopefully he can stay healthy and he has a really good career. And then
my Pirates didn't do anything. We never do. Usually we are sellers. We are never buyers. We are only sellers. Anytime anybody looks remotely good, the Pirates cannot move fast enough to get them out of Pittsburgh. But hey, we have a beautiful stadium, and apparently that's all that matters.
Top five.
Care about.
Top five, might even be top 3 stadium, honestly, in Major League Baseball. But to answer Miss Dove's question, she was asking what the Cardinals were doing while all this was going on. They made all their moves early on this offseason with getting Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and Sonny Gray. And I'm sure they're going to sign a reliever, maybe two. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot of teams that haven't done anything. You know, my Astros haven't done anything besides sign their backup catcher that they needed. The Dodgers, the Braves are the teams that have been making all the moves for the most part. So there's a couple big names out there still, but just wasn't that many big free agents this year. And then, like I said, having Yamamoto and Ohtani free agents in the same offseason just kind of held things up a little bit. But
do you think there's any chance that anyone wins the pennant next year other than the Dodgers? Have they essentially just bought themselves a championship?
Oh my goodness.
Man, I wish you were on the show the whole time because I have my crazy prediction stuff for later on.
Okay.
But you'll just have to watch the show, the last hour of the show. But you mentioned Luther Burden. I know it's not in our timeline of topics, but let's talk about Mizzou. Congrats to Mizzou, baby. Let's go. I'm gonna be real honest. That first half was boring as hell, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That sucked. It was just punt after punt after punt, and I even put it in our group chat. I was like, "Yawn, this is awful." But we came out champs at the end, which was, it's obviously good for the program.
That part. I also have a friend whose son plays for Mizzou too. So, I mean, anytime home team is involved in anything, like, we gotta root for them, right? I mean, right? Like it's not smart to go against the grain in that aspect.
Except for Annie's football team.
Right.
She doesn't like those Steelers. But did I get it right last week? Did you say your dad likes them though?
Oh yeah, almost my entire family.
Yeah, my dad is a big Steelers fan as well. So,
your dad must be about my parents' age then. I think it's just a generational thing.
It could be.
I broke the mold. Shout out to my cousin Ashley. She's also a diehard Cowboys fan. So there were people in my family who found the way. We have found the way. And yeah, so.
And you know what, though? Before we move on, I want to know, if you haven't told this story already, how did that come about? Like, why are you a Cowboys fan?
Because God blessed me.
Oh, gosh.
He pulled me from the muck and mire of Pittsburgh, and he shone his light upon me. And he said, "Thine shall be a Cowboys fan." And I said, "Lord, thanks for saving me twice." And so, honestly, I had a babysitter when I was 9 who was a Cowboys fan, and she didn't want to have to watch the Cowboys and worry about what my brother and I were doing. So she made us sit and watch the games. And so the very first game, it was like a Sunday night game, 1992, home game for the Cowboys. They kicked off and all these like cameras started flashing. And they were like, it's Cowboys night, or it's football night in Cowboys country or something like that. And Pam Oliver was on the sideline doing the sideline reporting. I was like, oh, Black women do this. Like everything about it was just magical. All these little things that you're seeing pop up on the screen is on my family. Okay. Clarence Fair is my daddy. He's calling me a traitor, like right on the screen. My cousin Danny was just on there. All of those people are just my family. They're just haters because I found the way. And they still root for the Steelers. Although I do love Mike Tomlin, like so much. And I wish he was my coach. So yeah, that's how I became that first night I was hooked. And it was everything that I would come to love about sports. Like I like big personalities. I like bravado. I don't care about the Steelers. Like we're a hardworking city. Okay. That's not why I like sports. I like sports because it's fun, because people who are better than you do dope stuff. And that's what I wanted to see. And that's what the triplets in Dallas were offering. And so, so I've been in that toxic relationship for 32 years now.
All right. Yeah. I don't think I heard that story yet. Yeah. I mean, it is weird how like you just become fans of another team that's not in your hometown. It just happens. Sometimes it's a player or whatever, but, Perp, real quick, what's the name of the player that plays for Mizzou?
Last name Montgomery. Don't quote me on the first name.
All right. All right, I get it. Let's stay with the football. Let's talk about the NFL just standings, and there's some crazy games here the last week. This is the last week coming up, right? That could be deciding factor of some what do they call them, conferences in football. There's so many of them. So if we got that. First off, also, what's with the Eagles? What happened?
They stink. Good riddance.
Holy cow! I don't remember what I had my Super Bowl. I think I had Eagles and Bengals or something like that, and that ain't good.
I had the Ravens and the 49ers. Is looking like a genius.
I know Bunny had the Ravens too, I'm pretty positive. So I don't remember who she had on the other side, but yeah, I mean,
that's Bunny's favorite, isn't it? The Ravens. She always talks about them.
Yeah, she just loves Lamar, which, I mean, he's a stud. Yeah, he's a stud. Oh, and Purple Rain, it's Kai Montgomery. His first name's Kai.
Yep, there you go. Melanie's gonna kill me. Like, how you listen, Mel? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, girl, but yeah, big ups to them. Like, I'm all for the young folks shining. Especially on a collegiate level. It's pretty dope to see. Pretty dope.
And then let's see. So, like, with the Eagles, obviously, like we just said, that I think they lost 4 out of the last 5, which is crazy because, like, what is they doing? They were right there. Like, I mean, they're still there, obviously, but man, it's just so much talent on that team.
It's been it's been a blessing to watch. I've just been grateful to be a part of it. I love watching the Eagles lose.
Oh my goodness.
Almost as much as I love watching the Cowboys win.
Almost as much. Let's see. Real quick, we got the NFC and the AFC. This weekend's real big, There's like 3 or 4 teams that are possibly, gonna take their conference and go to the playoffs. I'm gonna say in the NFC, I'm gonna say the Bucks out of the 3 teams that have a chance, because for some reason Baker Mayfield's really good this year, and that'd be exciting to see. And then just for my Houston friends, I'm gonna go the Texans on the other side in the AFC. Stroud's fun to watch, but they've had some tough injuries here, so we'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, I think the last spot in the AFC will be interesting because the Ravens are playing the Steelers, but because they have the 1 seat locked up, they have absolutely no incentive to play all their starters. They've had some key injuries on defense, although their defense is still balled out. So there's a chance that it's a Tyler Huntley game and not a Lamar Jackson game. No, Tyler Huntley, serviceable. And the Steelers are whack. But there's a chance that alone can tip the balance in the Steelers' favor. And then we can watch them get pummeled in the first round of the playoffs, which I love watching almost as much as I love watching the Eagles lose, almost as much as I love watching the Cowboys win. But I also love CJ Stroud. It would be amazing to see him in his first year with the Texans, take them to a playoff berth. Again, I don't think they really threaten anybody once they get in there, but I just think it would be great to see. I was high on CJ Stroud in the draft. I didn't get the whole Bryce Young thing, and I'm just always wary of Alabama quarterbacks. I thought CJ Stroud was the best quarterback in that draft, so I'm feeling a little bit of vindication. So definitely rooting for the Texans on that side. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting last week of football. Congratulations to those of you who won your fantasy football championships. Those happened this past week. And to those of you who didn't win, you should still celebrate. Again, we're all about celebrating here at the Platform Sports Talk Show. Go throw yourself a party.
I'm assuming my husband didn't win any of his leagues because he hasn't talking about it constantly. So, but it's just something fun that they do. We hosted the draft this year, and the draft board was up in our basement for like 2 months afterwards. So I had to see that all the time. But is there any fun games you're looking forward to this weekend?
I mean, of course, the Cowboys. So that's first and foremost. I think let's see if Baker can hold up to the pressure. Essentially, if they win against the Panthers, they should be in and win the NFC South, but they have to not crumble. The game between the Falcons and the Saints is going to be interesting and competitive. Let's see. The Eagles have something to play for because if the Cowboys lose, they can still get the 2 seed. And I think that Bills Dolphins game is going to be the marquee game. I think the Rams 49ers game could be interesting because I don't know what San Fran has left to play for. So I don't know how invested they're going to be in, putting on their best for the Rams, whereas the Rams still have to win that game. So,
to be a fly on the wall in the man cave chat for this Sunday between that game right there.
Oh yeah, with lawyer guy and the other folks.
Lawyer guy, yeah, T-Bone and Sadal and Stanton. Yeah, that's Smooth. Might have to take some screenshots and set it over to the ladies' night chat because I'm sure that will be a very fun chat this weekend. And then the Bills can either be a 2 seed or be out of the playoffs. So it's kind of been a weird year, I feel like, in the NFL. A lot of injuries to big name, quarterbacks, and one happened first night. So we'll see. I'm excited for the playoffs to start, though. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I do enjoy watching the NFL playoffs. We watch it all day long. I get super pumped for it, and it's gonna be cool to see someone new in there. Like you might see the Texans in there. You're gonna see the Lions in there for the first time, and I don't know how long ago has it been since the Lions were in the playoffs. Like that's gonna be exciting to see. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll see the same old teams there at the end, but there's potential. There's potential for something different. That's exciting.
I don't think we'll see the same old teams at the end. I think that's what's been really entertaining about this season. It's like every week you came away thinking that some other team had really like set themselves apart. And yeah, so I think that makes it really interesting. I think a lot of people came off of last year's performances with some really strong feelings about teams going into this year that were really hard to let go of. It's been hard for people to let go of the Eagles not being the team that we saw in the Super Bowl last year. It's been hard to let go of the Bills not being the Bills. It's been hard to let go of the Chiefs not being the Chiefs. And so it's made it a more entertaining season where there weren't a lot of games that just went chalk, where you could just one day Philadelphia is running up 72 points on the Broncos, and then the next day they're getting 56 laid on them by the Ravens. Like, it's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, I wanted to ask too, while we're talking about the Chiefs, do you guys think that Taylor was a distraction for Kelsey? Am I saying his name right?
Travis Kelce, yes. Smooth's going to my face right now because this is like 2 months in a row now. Every Wednesday we're talking about Taylor Swift.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. You're not on the show. So.
I mean, some people may feel like she was a distraction,
Have you seen Patrick Mahomes' wife? She's pretty distracting, and he still does what he does. So, I mean,
exactly. You gotta learn how to not be distracted, right? That's the whole point of being a professional, right?
Yeah, but I do think it was funny.
Unpleasant conditions, right?
It was like the first week that she was at a Chiefs game, and they just show him just like looking up in the press box, just like gazing. He's like, I'm dating T Swizzle. Oh my gosh, but
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's maybe, but I think these guys are paid so much money. They're the best of the best. I think they know how to put that stuff in the back of their head and
And
play
play.
good.
Right.
It's like I've said on the show before. It's not like they have many offensive options on that team. It's mainly Kelsey for the most part. So I mean, he can only do so much. Both of them can only do so much. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
But yeah, so this weekend should be interesting with the NFL, and then how many weeks are there in between the last games of the year and the playoffs starting? Is it like a 1 or 2 week break, or is it straight in? Okay, all right.
Only the 1 seeds get a bye.
Ms. Dub says we went 40 minutes for our first Taylor Swift mention.
One day we're gonna get to 0 and
just start the show
celebrate.
with her.
We'll throw a party, then we'll celebrate. So that's what I will celebrate. Is the day we have to no longer talk about Taylor Swift. But.
Yeah, and she said she thinks that the record with her there, or I guess since she's been a part of Kelsey's life, is about even. So again, it's just been a weird year for a lot of teams in football, and I think this just adds to it, honestly. And let's talk about. We've talked a little, we talked about Mizzou and whatnot. Annie, you mentioned the playoffs this weekend and college football, but now we have our matchup for the championship game, and it is Washington versus Michigan. I think you said you would like to see Washington pull this one out, but yeah, I mean, this is cool too. I feel like we're usually seeing like Nick Saban in there every year and Georgia and whatnot. So this is a cool matchup, I think.
Yeah, and I think it'll actually be competitive on the field. So I think it's not just about seeing some new faces. It's about, or just like not seeing the SEC, which I know some people are rooting for. But I think it's actually a really good football matchup. I think what Washington does on offense is really unique in comparison to what Michigan does on defense. I think it'll be interesting if Washington goes up early, because I believe the first round on the first was the first time this season that JJ McCarthy had played, or Michigan had played from behind. And we saw him go down for that last drive to tie the game for it to go into overtime. But I think it'll be interesting if Washington goes up by more than one score to see how JJ McCarthy performs or what that offense can do. I'm not a big Harbaugh fan. I really loved their backup coach. So I kind of hope whatever happens, it leads Harbaugh to make the decision to go back to the NFL and bother them, so that the backup coach for Michigan can become their new head coach. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. Even if you haven't followed college football all year, I think it'll be must-see TV next Monday.
And I think I saw, I don't know if it was like a fake, I can't talk, fake X tweet, whatever, but I think I saw something about a month ago that he's going to sign a big extension with Michigan. So, Harbaugh.
They offered him one because he got a new agent who's like a big deal in the NFL. And so every year there's whispers that Harbaugh is going to leave and go back to the NFL. Mm-hmm. It was really picked up this season, considering he had 2 different suspensions in the same year. He hired a new agent who's highly affiliated with the NFL. And so then word started to come out from Michigan that they were going to offer him this deal he couldn't refuse in order to keep him there instead of him going to the pros. So it hasn't been done though.
Gotcha. And then do you think, say Michigan wins, is everyone going to be like, oh, there needs to be an asterisk on their season and this and that, or you think they'll be fine?
I think their play on the field, well, one, even though I give you crap about the Astros stealing signs, and maybe in baseball it's a little bit different, but in football, I could walk up to you before the play and tell you what I'm going to do. You still have to have the personnel to stop it. So even if they knew what other teams were going to do in terms of the one sign stealing scandal, like other teams still have to stop it. I feel like what Michigan is, the product that Michigan has put on the field this year shows that they've been the best team in the country consistently the entire year. They've demolished opponents in the games where they should have, and they played strongly in the games where they were playing against better competition. And so I wouldn't see a reason to put any asterisks next to them because I just don't think. Yeah, and the thing about it is that other coaches were coming out and they were like, we don't care about sign stealing. Everybody sign steals. It was just dude was doing too much. Okay, he dressed up like a staff member of another team and then talked his way onto the sideline, like wearing like their gear and their hat. Like he was just
Yeah, that's weird.
it was just him doing too much. Nobody cares about you stealing signs. Every team has unique ways that they try to do it. So like when you see people on the sideline holding up all those different boards that got like McDonald's logos and Wendy's logos and peace signs and all this other stuff, like players know, like we're only working off board 2, right? So other people are just holding up stuff that means nothing, right? And it's just like the team knows whose signs they're following. You can have 2 coaches signaling stuff. They know which coach to pay attention to. They have codes for let's show something, and then we get a call at the line, and that means we're going to do something else. So like everybody knows everybody steals signs. Everybody sort of has their way of walking around it. But dude was just doing too much. When you start playing like Nancy Drew and dressing up and infiltrating spaces, like that's just that was what got them in trouble. They was like, okay, this is a lot. So that's why they got in trouble. But I don't think that takes away anything from the play that Michigan has put on the field this year.
Yeah, I didn't know that all that was happening. That's like you said, you thought Nancy Drew. I was thinking like some Scooby Doo stuff right there. Yeah, that's a little overboard. But I'm gonna go Michigan on this, just from the games that I've seen from both teams, and I mean they're 1-2. Like, come on, So it's like there's no wrong answer, honestly, unless you're like a diehard fan of one of the teams. But I'm gonna go Michigan. Perp, do you have a decision? Who you think's gonna win that?
I'm gonna go Michigan only because I got family up there. In Flint, shout out to my Flint family. Yeah, don't know much about Washington.
And then Annie, I know you're leaving like 10 minutes or something, so I just want to get your answers to some of the last questions that we had on our rundown here. Is there a sporting event? And don't say the Super Bowl. Is there a sporting event or a certain series that you're looking forward to this year?
Well, Summer Olympics, right? Paris 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to the Olympics. I think we have a lot of compelling stories coming into this Olympics, whether it's in sprinting with Sha'Carri Richardson, whether it's in gymnastics with Simone Biles. So yeah, I feel like other than the Super Bowl, since for some reason I can't say that.
That's gonna be like everyone's like, oh, I can't wait, and you know what? I can't wait either, and I can't wait to see Usher up there dancing and whatnot.
Period.
I mean, I can't wait for the Pirates to win the tournament.
Oh Lord, every time she's on.
Can't wait for the Penguins to hoist the Stanley Cup again. I can't wait for UNC to be national champs once again in college basketball. Just so many wonderful sports things I'm looking forward to this year. And of course, let's see. Oh, the Seattle Sounders. Let's get a win for them. Who else? The Clippers. Let's say they'll win the championship this year. I'm just going to put all my teams out there, and I'm just going to ask in faith that they all, and maybe one of them will do something. I feel like if I just put all my eggs out there, maybe one of them will hatch a championship. That's what I'm going for. But other than that, the Olympics.
I'd be okay if the Penguins won again.
You should be okay with it. Don't you want Sid to have all of the championships?
I love Sid kids, so that's what I'm saying. It's not like the Blues are going to do anything, and I don't really have a second team in hockey. So if the Penguins want to go out there and hoist another Stanley Cup, I'd be all right with that.
You can celebrate.
All right, I'll toast on the
We'll throw
show.
another party.
And then, do you have a crazy sports prediction for 2024?
I think I just made them all. So Cowboys.
Yeah, the Pirates winning the pennant.
That is okay. That is a sound decision. Stop hating.
Hold on, if Annie's family's still on here, I need to know if you guys are just as much as a Pirates fan and whatnot as Annie, because she talks about them every show.
Yes. So Pirates are going to win the pennant. The Penguins are going to host Lord Stanley. The Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, and if not them, then the Ravens. UNC is going to win another basketball championship. Let's see, Sha'Carri Richardson's going to win the 100. No, that's realistic. Let me go back.
Very realistic.
Yeah, let me go back. The Clippers are going to win the NBA championship. What else is a crazy sports prediction? The Steelers will have a losing season next year. Hasn't happened yet under Tomlin, so we'll see that.
You can go.
And I'm just throwing digs at my family since they wanted to come for me at the beginning of this. There you go. They're gonna have a losing season in 2024.
And it was weird. Like, there's like a handful of teams in every sport that they're not going to win every year, the whole thing, but they're just a good team. They're always going to be 500 or better. And yeah, like the Steelers are just one of those teams. That's why it was so weird this year with the Patriots. Like, they're so bad. And pretty much my entire life, they've been really good, or average. And so it's just like a weird thing to see.
Yeah. Very abnormal.
Or a beautiful thing to see, depending on how you feel about the Patriots.
That's true, too. That's true.
Well, I'm really sad that Zeke is there, though. He's participating in the losing. We should pick him back up for the playoffs. I want Zeke to come home.
And that's something, because who was it that the Jets just released to be picked up?
Dalvin Cook.
I feel like that's kind of a weird thing. Like baseball, you can, pick up players up to a certain extent. And you can, like, they used to do a waiver type thing in season, but if you pick them up after a certain date, they can play till the end of the year, but they're not going to be on your playoff roster. So I think it's kind of weird that you can just like, hey, you're good. I want you to have a chance to win, and they just get to go play for another team. I don't know.
Yeah,
weird.
that was about not paying him. So when people have certain incentives and you're out of playoff contention, then you're just like, it's the same thing with Russell Wilson. The reason for sitting him, even though they were still in contention for a playoff spot, is because of the injury clause that he has in his contract. And so they would look for more money had he played and gotten injured than not playing him at all. So yeah, that was a money decision. I just think, so the weirdest sports moment has already happened for us. And that was Jimmy Johnson being welcomed back into the Cowboys family and getting into the Ring of Honor. And I feel like if we could see that happen and see Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson come together again, then why can't we see Zeke back in a Cowboys uniform just for the playoffs? And to give him some redemption. His last play as a Cowboy was idiotic. His fault. Idiotic. And we can't have Zeke going out like that. He holds all the rushing records. And so I just want Zeke back so he can, even if he just goes in for one play and it's just like, damn it, I'm not as bad as that last play looked, and just do something. And we need him because Pollard is not a good feature back. I said that at the beginning. I'm being proven correct. He is good when he gets to sit on the side until third down and then have bursts of speed in a cloud of dust. And Zeke was the workhorse. So I wish that we could get Zeke back. That would be my New Year's miracle.
Yeah, that would be That would be something to see, not gonna lie. I'm sure all the guys would give you some crap about it too, but just because it's your team, but
We don't care about those guys. That's why we created a ladies' night,
that's true.
because we don't care about their opinions. Their opinions are dumb.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And I want to ask you one more thing real quick, and then we'll circle back, Perp, whenever she leaves us. But Brianna, is that her first name? Brianna O'Connor. She's a girls basketball coach. She was let go. She was fired for how she dresses.
Yeah,
I don't see any
was
wrong with
hoping I
how
would
she
get out of
dresses.
here. Yeah, I was hoping I would get out of here before this topic. What I am not going to do is police Black women's bodies. That's just how she's shaped. The same thing happened to like a teacher. And it's so I'm not going to police women's bodies. They wrong for firing her. Like there is no argument against it. Just because people have shapes doesn't mean that they have to wear grocery bags. We need to do a better job in this country of, instead of policing women about not being appealing prey, police men about not being predators. And so let's do better about that. How about people who are like, I have a problem with seeing shapes on women's bodies? And
Mhm.
we set them aside and we're like, why do you have that problem? How about we get you some counseling rather than, okay, let's police another Black woman's body? And overall, just tired of policing Black people in sports. You still have the one student in Texas who still hasn't been allowed to return to school because he refused to cut his locks. Like you had the one wrestler last year where a referee cut his locks on the wrestling mat without his parents there. Like, let's stop policing Black people's bodies. She looks amazing. The people who fired her could never, and think about it. So, yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
she finds a new job and gets a clothing line.
Yeah, man, I don't even understand it. Honestly, like I don't see anything wrong whatsoever with with these outfits she's wearing.
And I love femininity in sports. I think as someone who grew up a tomboy for most of my life, like it made sense to people that I liked sports because they essentially thought I was trying to dress like a boy anyway. But I don't think that femininity and sports are at odds with each other. I love when women feel comfortable and secure in their femininity and dominate at very physical games. And so I always love seeing that come together. I don't think it's a clash. I think it's a perfect marriage. And that's why, like, even though like I would never like play in anything like this, but I love dressing up to come on the show. And also talking about how I knocked women flat on their ass for years. Like I love seeing things together. And so I just love the feminine with the energy of sports. And so yeah, I'm not gonna police another woman's body. I love when women still dress in their femininity and participate in sports. So I'm excited for it all.
Yeah, like, was this a college or a high school?
I think it was high school.
High
Well,
school.
if it was college, it wasn't D1. Yeah.
Yeah. High school. All right, and we did just get a little chat from Smoooth that she did follow us on social media, so maybe in the future she'll be one of our lady night guests, which would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
I'll say I think she looks great. Me, I would be wearing like jeans and a hoodie because that's just how I am. Jeans, hoodie, and some sneakers or something. But no, like I couldn't pull something off like that though. So like she can do that, and she looks great doing it.
I agree. And
I agree.
Skills, get it.
I agree. Like I really want to know what like the root of the problem was, because when I look at her, I don't really see a difference from her and like a Coach Sid who coaches at Texas. You know what I'm saying? She's very stylish as well, and the outfits are looking somewhat similar to me. So I'm kind of confused as to what the actual problem with her attire was, because it's not revealing. Her boobs and booty ain't hanging out. You know what I mean? She's dressed appropriately for the sideline. I feel like she's not the first women's coach to wear heels on the sideline. I don't get it. I'm totally confused as to why she was fired because of her attire. It's nothing wrong with it at all. She looks great, actually.
Ms. Dub says, considering the NBA criticized players for not dressing up, firing her for clothes is ridiculous.
Come on, you can't. It's like you can't win for losing, right? Is it you damned if you do, damned if you don't?
And Smooth, I'm gonna need you to put this lady's name in the chat. But like I've seen this story, and then I thought of Kramer Robertson's mom, LSU basketball coach. She was wearing some funky things last year. Oh, that was all over social media for a super long. Yeah, Kim Mulkey. Did you see some of the things she was wearing? Oh, it wasn't bad, you know. She's just an older lady, whatever, and she's been doing what she's been doing for a long time. But that was some goofy ass stuff she was wearing.
I mean, but all in all, like, I feel like even in sports, women should still be able to be women. Like, we like clothes. I mean, that's just part of it, right? I don't know too many women. Don't get me wrong, there are some, but the majority of the women that I know, we like clothes. And who buys clothes to not wear them? That makes no sense, right? So, you know, I just really want to know, like, what the real problem was, because that ain't it. That can't be the problem. Like I said, when you see so many other coaches, women coaches who dress stylish as well, it just doesn't add up.
You know, I agree. So hopefully we can get her on the show at some point and, you know, see if there's more to the story or not.
It gotta be, Joe. It gotta be. It gotta be.
For sure. And then while we're waiting on one of our other guests to come on, we'll talk to her about this, you know, about this as well, because she is also a basketball coach. So want to definitely know, you know, her thoughts in regards to it. Ms. Dubs also said all they did by firing her was to make themselves look like fools, which...
And they did. They succeeded. They definitely succeeded. Because like I said, that's not even grounds to fight. Hold on one second, Raya. That's definitely not grounds for termination. I mean, like I could understand if, like I said, if her boobs were hanging out, or, you know, booty was hanging out, but she was covered up. She had on pantsuits and like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? So it kind of makes you wonder, like, yeah, something else was going on behind the scenes. You know, I bet she was probably already having problems with them in some capacity, and they chose that to latch on to. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, there's definitely more to the story, but let's go ahead, do another promo real quick for all of our viewers and listeners, and then we'll keep the show going. This is the 3-year anniversary of Ladies Night, part of the Platform Sports Talk Show. You can send us an email if you have any guest ideas of who you'd like to see on the show. Send us an email at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook and on X, formerly known as Twitter. Obviously, we all know the big one. It's on YouTube, Platform Sports Talk Show. Subscribe and click on that bell. And anytime we go live, you all will be notified. You got us on Roku. You got us on Hot 365, where it's always hot. And don't forget that we are also on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Hot365Radio. As I said, this is Ladies Night, celebrating our 3-year anniversary. That is on the first Wednesday of every month. And then every last Wednesday of the month, we got the Man Cave. And it's going to be crazy if the Rams make the playoffs. There's going to be some heated battles going on in the Man Cave. So very much looking forward to that. And then so... Yeah, and so while we're waiting on our other guests to come on, I just want to talk about some of our other topics. Now, I'm sure we've talked about this before. Do you pay attention to hockey or no?
Oh my God, Joe. No. And you know what? It's so funny because I keep saying that I'm gonna indulge more every year and it just never happens. Um, so yeah, no, enlighten me.
No, I mean, Blues are having another year like they kind of did last year, just they're not great. They're not awful. They're not awful
They're not
this year.
great.
Yeah, they're not awful this year like they were last year, but they're not good. A lot of good stuff would have to happen in our favor to make the playoffs this year, but crazier things have happened.
They
Um,
have.
I will say, like, hockey related, like, all together, you had our first shutout in Winter Classic history. The Seattle Kraken shut out the Golden Knights, which is very cool.
Mhm.
That was if you don't know, the Winter Classic, that's always whenever they have a game in a stadium. So like they played where the Seattle Mariners played on New Year's Day. So that's
Okay.
cool. And then oh my gosh, Connor McDavid, he's a stud. If you don't know his name, he's
I
like,
did go to a hockey game last year though. I did because my job gave us Blues tickets. So I did go to a game, but like follow it, I'm so lost, Joe. I'm so lost.
no, it's okay. A lot of people just go because like nowadays, the atmosphere is insane there now. It's loud music, lights going all over the place, the horns loud and exciting. There's hockey fights and whatnot. But yeah, so and then Connor McDavid though, like I was saying, have you heard of Wayne Gretzky before?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
he's like the modern day Wayne Gretzky, and he's already
Okay.
got over 900 points. He had 5 points last night, and he's just a stud.
That's dope. That's pretty dope. I'm gonna look them up.
Yeah. But all right, we're gonna come back to hockey later if we have some time because Brittany is ready. Coach Willis. I almost said Coach Dub like Miss Dubs. Anyway, so yeah, let's bring on Brittany. I believe she'll be on via phone call.
Ooh, feedback.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm in the car. So,
oh, how are you?
I'm here. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Britt.
Happy Ladies' Night 3-year anniversary.
Yes. 3 years. Also, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Yes,
Happy New Year. And how did the game go tonight?
The game went well. We played Marquette. This was our time playing them. And like we literally just played them last week in the holiday tournament. And they executed really well. I mean, I was very proud of them how they came out and executed. We were down 2 starters, but my kids know my model. Like I can only worry about who's on the floor. So when we're scouting teams and when we're preparing for games, we prep with the pieces that we have. So they did a great job. I mean, every game that we played them, we gotten better. We made adjustments. Slowed the team down. We didn't allow them to, slip away from us. So very proud of the execution. And then, just here on out, going into the second half of the season, teams are going to start playing their best basketball. And, I told my team, win or lose, like we have to get better every game, and just, just finding ways for them to figure out like what motivates them. We did not shoot the ball very well in the last tournament. So, kind of our pregame was kind of based on like what that you need to do to get yourself ready for a game. So, I think our pregame speech talk was really good and they just went out there and, took care of business. So, January is full. We're going to start getting into conference game. We got one more tournament next week. So, it's a full month. But, the girls are getting better. They're having a good season. Of course, we're going to have, our downtime, but, can't win every game.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
true.
And then
That's true.
also, Perp, you said that you had a cousin that played at Clayton High School.
Well, they went to my girl cousins. They they attended Clayton, so I'm familiar with the school. Yes, they're young adults now, if that's what you want to call them. They've graduated and have children of their own, and yeah, but they definitely attended Clayton elementary through high school, and decent district. I love it.
It's solid. I teach their
Yeah, solid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's solid. You know, very grateful, but I taught in Ladue for 5 years, and then now I'm in Clayton, so kind of see I've kind of got to see the difference. I mean, both have been great to work for sure. So very fortunate to be working in Clayton for sure.
That's what's up.
And Brittany, how long is the season? Like, how long in the year does it go?
So you figure we kind of start at the end of October and shifts right into November. The season can go in deep into March, so right before we get on spring break. Typically, I mean, it's a long season. It's a very. I mean, if you look at like all the sports, I feel like basketball is longer. Even though some people like, well, fall sports starts at this time. Like, yeah, I mean, it is, but in my opinion, you can agree to disagree, but basketball is probably the longest season. I mean, we're competing in the major holidays, and it was crazy. Like when I was actually paying close attention to like the football, like high school season, and I'm like, dang, they didn't get finished until like Thanksgiving. But we're playing and practicing around like the major holidays, so it also makes it seem like longer. So, my girls, we only got 3 days off. Like yesterday was our first day back, with practice after having some days off after the holiday tournament, and then jumped right into, a game today. So, it can vary. Like I said, March is late that basketball goes. That playoff starts in the end of February, and then it goes to like March, like kind of midweek March. So third week of March. So yeah, it depends.
That's a decently long season,
Yeah.
for high school. And Brittany, we were talking earlier before you got on. We wanted to get Annie's opinion, and me and Purple Rain talked about it as well a little bit. But we talked about it in the chat. But what's your thoughts on Brianna O'Connor with being fired?
Yeah. I mean, of course, I think it's ridiculous. It's crazy for like the things you can get fired for these days. I mean, I even think that like even as an educator, but I mean to get fired because what she's wearing, and I saw like the comments like, oh, it's not a fashion show. I know when I coach on the sidelines, like I sometimes like to dress up and see who I am. I mean, it just kind of really depends on, I would say, like your support system. I don't agree with it. For her to be fired because of what she was wearing. But if it was like to a point, I mean, it just sucks because if you do have a conversation with her and you're like, hey, we need you to tone it down, you're not allowing her to be who she is. I think that's the most important thing, even for me. When I'm coming in, like I want to be me, right? And it just kind of like sucks, to take that away from somebody. I mean, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, like, helping these kids get better. I mean, it's not like, she's dressing something that's not inappropriate. I mean, she's wearing stilettos. She's dressing up, right? Like, look good, you play good. Again, I don't think it's ridiculous, but like it's, again, you could be fired for anything these days. So, disappointing when I saw it, but also like you can't be surprised by anything nowadays.
Yeah, that's you know, some of the same stuff that we were saying. Then also, Smoooth was mentioning that he was able. She is now following our show on social media, so you know he's gonna do his thing. Do his thing to try to get her to, you know, hopefully be on a ladies' night at some point, which would be awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to her. Like I said, I'm a big fan of being you, expressing who you are. I mean, as a teacher, you know, we allow these kids to express who they are. You know, I ain't trying to throw no shade. You know, I taught middle school for 5 years, and some of the stuff they were wearing, I feel like I should be the one wearing it, not them. But it is what it is. I'm like, if I can't wear it, a student should not be able to wear that. Like, I mean, and I've seen some things. You know, like today is just, you know, all about self-expression. You know, but yeah. And again, we don't know like the deep of the story. You know, you can also see it as like, you know, somebody was trying to find anything or any given reason to fire her, right? Like that's, but we don't know that. But you know, I feel like, you know, people will try to find the smallest things just to get rid of somebody. You know, which is sad, but that's just, you know, I just feel like that's just the reality that we live in. You know, it's always going to be, you know, somebody else's fault. So it's unfortunate, but that's just the world we live in today.
Yeah, that is true. And I wonder if this is from earlier. Miss Dub said, I grew up on hockey, so when I saw football, I thought they changed the players because they got tired. Nope. Nope. It's just I mean, I can't ice skate, but like even if you rollerblade for a little bit, you gotta take you gotta take a seat after a little bit. So I can't imagine what it's like, you know, on ice. But Brittany, I'm gonna move back to the beginning of the show and just ask you real quick, you know, what's in your cup? Is there any like sports stories that are on your mind?
I feel like the only thing in my cup is my program. Any basketball other than like my team, but you know, during my 3 days, you know, days off from both teaching and coaching, like I went to a Mizzou game this past weekend. Like I said, I like watching college basketball. You know, it's very hard for me to like watch basketball. Like right now, like I said, I had a game. I'm driving home from a game, so like normally, like when I get home, like I try to shower. I kind of like go in, I enter all the stats in. Sometimes I will watch film, you know. It's the one thing that I do miss around this time because I love watching college basketball. You know, if I'm able to catch it like on the weekend, like, you know, I'm able to kind of catch some of the women's basketball games on Sundays. I'll catch some, you know, men's games. I think I was watching, I would say the one recent game, gosh, who was playing? I know Michigan men's basketball team, they were playing somebody and went like double overtime. I mean, Arizona, I think they played this past couple weeks. I mean, it's just very hard for me. Like the one thing that's in my cup during this time is like my program, right? So, and it's more than me just being a coach. Like I don't just show up and coach. I do a lot of things that goes on like behind the scenes, like a lot of like the, you know, making sure everything is organized, make sure people are where they need to be, make sure transportation is set up. So my cup is full with my program, and if I'm able to catch some games, like whether it's college basketball or catch some of the college football games, like I do. But like for the most part, you know, my program. And then, you know, sometimes I don't catch the sports because I want to watch something on like Netflix, just watch like something normal, because sometimes I need to tune off, you know, the sport because I'm around it so much. But yeah, that's kind of like what's been in my cup, is, you know, putting all my time and effort into my program and the girls in my program. You know, I'm also like in the process of, you know, I have 2 seniors that are looking to play at the next level. So I also feel like I'm a sports agent. I've learned that recently this year, being on that side, like talking to college coaches and, you know, creating their highlight film. So like really all of my time goes to, you know, my kids in my program. So, which is fine. Like I don't mind it. Like I love that I can be there for them and support them. So that's what's going on in my cup. And just coming back from winter break, I wish we had 2 weeks off instead of the 8 days. I don't count the weekends. So like, that's what's been going on with me. Is busy with basketball season right now.
You just eat, sleep, poop, pray, basketball right now. So I understand if you just
I
you want
mean,
a break.
oh yeah, like part of like my like it was so funny. Like part of our like pregame speech, like just um finding ways to like one of the big things that we focus on just trying to help our girls find ways to like what gets them motivated. And one of the things I tell them, I'm like, you guys make fun of me all the time because I always come in, I tell them like my college stories, and they like make fun. We're like, oh, here we go again. But I'm like, nope, I'm gonna say it. And one time they made a comment. They're like, oh, coach, I bet all you did was eat, sleep, breathe basketball. And part of my pregame speech today, I was like, y'all make fun of me, but guess what? I was good. So like, yeah, I did that because, like I said, basketball was my thing, and I wanted to be good. So yeah, yes. If you wanted to know, yes, I was that girl that eat, sleep, breathe basketball. I was, and I still do it to this day. I just don't play. I did practice with my team yesterday because we are dealing with some injuries, and like I can practice one time and then I need 2 days off. Like my body hurts after that, but it's fun. I'm glad I can still from time to time get out there. The goal was for me to get through the whole. What time? I mean, we practiced probably for an hour and 45 minutes. That was my goal. I did an hour. After that, I was like, yep, you guys, I'm just gonna stand here and watch and coach and play.
Yeah, that's how I am with baseball. So, but I don't think I could even. We'll play catch sometimes, and my arm's dead, and I'm sore for the next couple days. So I get that. It's Smooth's over here showing your basketball pictures, just so you know you're plastered right now.
Oh, I hope they're good ones. But it's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're good. They're good. And since you mentioned it, what is something you're watching on Netflix? Just to switch it up a little bit.
I'm trying to like see. Well, we just got through like the holidays, so I was kind of like watching all like the holiday movies. Yeah, that's about it. Like on HBO, like one of my favorite like Christmas movies. I like Home Alone 2. Of course, I like Friday After Next. So I just kind of actually been watching like all the holiday movies lately. And then I feel like people give me a list of series of what to watch on Netflix, but again, like I don't always have the time to like sit down and watch those things. But if you have suggestions, you're more than welcome to let me know. And when I find the time, I'll see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, Miss Dub says Candy Cane Lane was great. Yeah, I watched that like piece of it while we were playing with my daughter, but yeah, that was pretty good. I'm just happy it's all over with all these holiday movies.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Brittany, if you're gonna say something.
No, I said no. I agree. I'm happy it's over with too. I mean, I was kind of sad I had to take my Christmas tree down, but it is what it is.
My husband had that down. He was off all last week. He had that down last Tuesday. So our house feels huge now, and that's my favorite part: is taking out the tree, and your house feels like 10 times bigger than it really is. But I was
true.
Yeah. So let's get to these last two topics. I know we asked Annie this, Brittany, before you got on. Just wanted to hear her takes or whatever, her choices. But one is, and YouTube purposes, we didn't get yours. Is, do you guys have a single game or series that you're looking forward to in 2024?
I feel like Coach Prime we didn't get the season that we were hoping for. So I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, that next season will be a little bit better for them. I got faith in them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next season, and hopefully it turns out better than this one.
It started off pretty good.
It did, and then it just like I don't know what happened. I'm just like, okay, guys, like come on. But that also comes with being kind of somewhat a new team. They haven't played together for what I mean. Like, so they're still gelling and figuring things out, and that's to be expected. So I'm hoping next year is better for them. Because it would be nice to get a good record along with all the press that they get. So.
All right, and looks like Annie might be back, so let's see if she's gonna pop in for this last little bit. There she is.
I'm back.
And Annie, we do have Coach Willis on via the cellular device.
Hey.
Hey.
And Coach Willis, do you have a specific game or series that you're looking forward to this year, or even just like a sporting event, I guess?
Come on, it's March Madness for me.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah, that's always fun. That's on the TV the whole month here, so I get that.
Oh yeah, and that's when like things starts to slow down for me anyway. I mean, I tell myself every year I'm not going to do a bracket, and then I end up doing it anyway. And I should not do that because it just, again, I get so, competitive. But that's the one thing I'm looking forward to is March Madness.
I just do one for fun, like the free Yahoo one, and I'm done like the second game of the of the whole thing. So yeah, I'd like pick mascots or something because I don't know anything about college basketball.
Okay.
A game or like a series I'm looking forward to is one, the Cardinals are going to go down in Houston this year in early June, so that's going to be exciting. And then also, and I forgot about this until my husband mentioned it, is 2024 is whenever the Cardinals and the Giants play against each other in the Field of Dreams game. So we've had 2 of them so far. And they're very cool and nostalgic. Field of Dreams was one of my favorite movies, so that'll be cool to see the Cardinals, partake in that. And then so we got another topic here is a crazy sports prediction. So, Coach Wills, do you have any crazy sports predictions for this year?
Gosh, I can't even think of anything honestly because I just did, like I said, my cup is full with my program. So I mean, I would say, like I said, I'm all for like big upsets. Being kind of like the underdogs, like that would be my only take. And it doesn't matter who it is.
And real quick, just to update my Cardinals Giants game, it is at the Negro Leagues field instead of the actual Field of Dreams field. So, and that just adds on because the Cardinals and the Giants, they have a lot of Negro League legends that have played in their, in the organizations throughout the year. So that's awesome, and hopefully we get to see as many of them there as possible to at least be like a part of some pregame, ceremony and just be in attendance.
Yeah, that would be dope.
And Perp, do you have any crazy predictions for 2024?
Oh my God. Crazy. This is really gonna be crazy. I'm just gonna say the Rams are gonna win the Super Bowl. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, you right. You right. That was crazy.
Crazy, right? I don't even really much root for them since they moved. So it is what it is.
All right. Yeah. Well, I got a couple of them again. Annie, you're back, so you don't have to go back and rewatch this part of the clip. But first one is no, I do not think the Dodgers are going to be in the World Series in 2024. It might be crazy, but a lot of weird things happen in a 162 game season. Yeah, we'll see. But I just don't think they'll be one of the last 2 teams there at the end.
Question before you move on. Mm-hmm. So if you had to place a bet in Vegas, let's say it's like $1,000 bet, and you had to take the Dodgers, or you could take the entire field. You're saying you would take the field?
Yes.
Okay.
Just, I mean, if you paid attention to the Major League Baseball playoffs the last handful of years, even just this last year, no one in their right mind would have picked the Arizona Diamondbacks to be playing in the World Series. It's just whoever gets hot and whoever's healthy, that's who's going to go far and, show out. I mean, like the Dodgers, yeah, they had some injuries to their pitching, but they still had Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and those guys had like one hit and being swept by the D-backs, and it was a Mookie Betts infield single. Like, come on, So it takes more than just a Yamamoto and then an Ohtani. It's going to take a whole team. So if they're healthy, then yeah, I can see them, making some noise. But I've been watching sports a long time, and I just don't. That's not usually how it works out. Like Cardinals would have been in the playoffs last year. Maybe not win the whole thing, but they would have been in the playoffs last year if that's how it worked out. Another one is I'm excited, though, to see how Angels fans are going to react the first time Shohei shows up in Anaheim. And, and it might even happen before the season starts because usually they have a 2-game or 2 or 4 games split between stadiums during spring training before the actual season starts. So we'll see how that turns out. I've seen a Cardinals writer. He said that he can see, since Yadier Molina will be a part of the coaching staff moving forward, or just a part of the organization, he can see Yadi managing 1 game this year, which I think that would be very intriguing since Ali Marmol, his contract is up after this year, I believe. And then lastly, I got the Oilers making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe not winning the whole thing, and that's a crazy prediction because they're still not even that great right now, but their team's too talented not to make it further and further every year. And Purple Rain, that guy Connor McDavid I mentioned, he's on that team as well. So
okay.
Those are my predictions. I don't know. I try to think of some good ones, and that's probably my best one though.
Could it be that they play the Penguins for the cup? Or no, they would be on the same side of the bracket. No,
I think that can happen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if it gets there, then sorry, I'm a root against the kid because I want to see Connor. Listen. Sid's got a couple cups. He's got a couple rings. Connor McDavid is Mike Trout of hockey. He is too damn good to not be able to hoist their trophy in their sport. Like they both have not been able to hoist that, and it breaks my heart. Like we always talk about how we want to see greatness, like be celebrated and this and that. Mike Trout and Connor McDavid need to be celebrated, and it just doesn't happen.
He can celebrate being the runner-up.
There's no NHL's not like other sports, and they're like baseball. Here's a ring for coming in second.
Yeah, and then he can come to the Penguins, so there's that. 2, he can win after Sid retires. He'll still be playing.
He's young enough, and Sid probably got a couple more years left in him.
Yeah, see, there you go.
But for my prediction to come true, that would be pretty cool.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, shoot. I mean, do you have any other crazy predictions? Because other than that, I mean, I think we've reached all of our topics for the first show of 2024 Lady Night.
I know. I was excited I could be here to celebrate 3 years of Ladies Night. It feels like at one point, it feels like it's been more than 3 years, but on the other hand, it feels like it's been less than 3 years. Similar to the Super Show last week, where we had a chance to pay homage to all the panelists that we've had across all the shows. We've had some amazing women over the last 3 years on the show, either as regular panelists or as guests. And so I think it only gets better from here, and I think it's exciting where Ladies Night will go moving forward.
I was thinking the same thing. I think it has to do with we've all at some point, shape, form, whatever, have been a part of the main show. So doing Ladies Night now, it feels like it's been a lot longer than 3 years, but no, I mean, it's awesome. I enjoy our time. Just the ladies talking sports, and yeah, I'm excited to see what type of guests we have on later on. Hopefully Purple Rain, you're on one more time in between the 4-year anniversary because I enjoy your conversation here.
Yeah, I'm down. Most definitely.
Coach Willis, I don't know if you're still on the phone or not.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you're really quiet, so I wasn't positive. But
No, you did. I was listening. I just I had to get my game book out so I could put these stats in STL today. So, I'm here.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's a teacher thing. You can be surprised how much we can multitask.
That part.
And then I hope once your basketball schedule slows down a little bit, we get to see your face on our screens again.
That'll be nice. With that also being said, I hope I can see my own self. Because that's how I feel. I feel like I don't even see my own self during basketball season. So yeah, definitely when things slow down, for sure.
All right, cool. And then, guys, before we get out of here, any special shout outs anyone wants to give anyone before we go on?
Just shout out to Bunny, who's usually our ladies' night leader. We are definitely with you in spirit, even though you're unable to be on the show tonight. And shout out to Sharita, who I couldn't get to come on tonight. But is a guest that I love. Shout out to Smoooth for coming up with the ladies' night concept, and for being committed to providing women a platform to talk about sports from their own perspectives and to talk about things that women care about in the sports landscape, in addition to the games themselves. And so and then shout out to Joe for hosting tonight.
Yeah.
I remember a time where we would have been like, Joe, you're hosting. And you're like, well, say what?
I'm pooping my pants. I can't. No. Nervous. No, real quick.
You're a pro. Look at you.
I get a little more calm. Smooth, bring up that comment again from Miss Dubs if you can. She pointed out something very, very cool, is that we've been doing this longer than the Man Cave, y'all. So, take that, Stanton and Sadal and T-Bone and Craig Black and Mario and
Lawyer Man and the rest of them.
I think that's all of them. Anyways, but yeah, Purple Rain, you got any special shout outs before we get out of here?
Shout out to everybody watching. I mean, everybody tuned in on all the platforms. Y'all the real MVPs. We have to have a platform. We have to have people to tune in order for this show to work, right? So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Smoooth, for holding it down. We miss you, Bunny. I was looking forward to chatting with you today, but it's all good. I'm sending my love to you and your family. Great job today, Joe. Like, for real, I'm proud of you, girl. Always a pleasure chatting it up with Annie. Shout out. And nice to meet you, Brittany. I'm gonna be rooting, since now I know you're the coach at Clayton. I'm gonna be rooting for y'all. So I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all got going on this season. Shout out to my family. Shout out to everybody. Like, big ups to everybody who plays a role in this in any type of way. Blessings.
All right, Coach Willis, what about yourself? I know you're over there logging stats.
I'm not even going to front. It's exactly what I'm doing. I'm so terrible at titles. I feel like I always forget certain things. But, like, of course, everybody with the sports platform, the ladies that come in here, host, come and visit, the man behind the scenes, Smoooth, couldn't do this without you. Let's see, of course, family, friends, my basketball team, especially them right now, because we in the grinding part of the season right now. So like, big shout out to my team, of course. I know they're probably on their phones watching TikTok. They don't after that. they teenagers, but yeah, no, that's all the shout outs I can think of. If I forgot it or forgetting anybody, nothing personal, I still love you, but yeah.
All All right, cool. And before I say anything else, Sharita, I miss Sharita. I thought about her over the weekend. I think it was when The Rock came out, and because I know every time The Rock came around, she said he's probably got some like movie or something coming out. I don't think there's a movie coming out with The Rock, so if there is, I don't know. But I thought of her this weekend. It'd be awesome to have her on the
Hope
show
it's
again.
not another Fast and Furious movie. That's all.
Oh my
Oh
god.
Lord, so many of those things. But yeah, hopefully we can get her on the show again soon, just to catch up. Shout us out to Smooth, obviously putting all this together for us. 3 years with Ladies Night. Thank you for giving me confidence to try to do this stuff on my own when Bunny's not here. Miss Dub, thank you for being our best supporter for all the shows. And then shoot, Bunny, shouts out to you. Hope to see you next week on the main show, and hope everyone with you and the family is doing well. And yeah, I think that's love my family. Happy 24, and you know, life is okay right now.
It's a great day to be a Pirates fan.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Oh my gosh. On that note, I think we're about to get out of here, Smooth. Making sure, guys, to I'm just gonna go through the promo one more time for all of our listeners and viewers. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday. We got something going on. We got Ladies Night like tonight, the Platform Sports Talk Show every other week, and then the Man Cave the last Wednesday of every month. Just send us an email if you have any questions or guests you would like us to have on the show. Instagram, Facebook, X, Roku, Hot 365 Radio. You can do that at twitch.tv/Hot 365 Radio. And YouTube, the main one, YouTube. Subscribe, click on that bell, because anytime we go live, y'all will be notified. And that's year 3, guys. Thanks you for joining.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.